Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. This is your latest football transfer news and lots to get into. We're going to be talking Frimpong to Liverpool. Wirtz may be following him there. More on Rodrigo, Xavi Simons as well, and also Hson is not coming to the Premier League. He's going to Real Madrid by the sounds of it, and a little bit more as well. Let's get into it then. A couple of days ago we were talking about the Frimpong to Liverpool story. Well, the latest update is Frimpong and Liverpool is just a matter of a short time. This is from Fabrizio Romano in the last few minutes. So effectively, Liverpool fans, you're waiting for a here we go. You've done the deal. Incredible. You know what? Incredible. I actually had this conversation today with somebody when I was up in the Manchester studio. With Arsenal and Liverpool now, as a Man United fan, I don't even get irritated by their signings. I just go, that's a great signing. Like, we're so far behind. Like, we're probably looking at trying to catch up with Bournemouth and Villa and Newcastle. Liverpool are our big rival. Arsenal are a rival. And they are just way better than us already. And buying Zubimendi, Frimpong, maybe Wirtz, maybe Gyökeres. So many good players. What a deal. So, look, we're not quite at here we go, but Liverpool are quick, Liverpool are efficient, and Fabrizio Romano is basically saying it's just a matter of short time before you get that here we go. So Liverpool are signing Frimpong, and I think he'll be a fantastic signing. As I said a couple of days ago, attacking fullback, energetic, gets lots of assists. If he wasn't signing for Liverpool, I'd say I'm excited to see what he can do in the Premier League. But it's a really good player coming into the Premier League, and there's not many better alternatives to Trent, really. Hakimi, maybe. So if I was looking to replace Trent, I would probably go. I probably would go Frimpong, Hakimi, and some people might say Dumfries or a couple of others. But I think it's a really good appointment. So just get ready for your here we go on that. And could they be staying at Leverkusen for Wirtz? Because actually, we've had an update coming in about that. Now, Wirtz, Bayern Munich are looking at Wirtz. But Man City have apparently met with Leverkusen over a potential summer move. That's been reported by Bild. But The Athletic are saying Liverpool have also made contact with Wirtz to express interest in signing the playmaker this summer. I mean, what a signing he would be for both of those clubs. You think about De Bruyne leaving and Wirtz coming in. Very good replacement. You think at Wirtz at Liverpool coming in with Frimpong as well. Really strengthens that Liverpool side in an area where they're not replacing. Frimpong is replacing Trent. Wirtz would be adding to that Liverpool side because you're not really going to lose anything. Maybe Darwin Núñez, but it adds something to that Liverpool team as well. So, as I feared, Liverpool are going to reward Slot for winning the Premier League by actually giving him a proper transfer window that he didn't get last year. And that might not be the end of it. So competition for Wirtz, it's looking like it's going to be obviously Bayern Munich, Manchester City and Liverpool. And look, sometimes a German player it's a bit of a weird league in the sense that you can be a brilliant Dortmund player, you can be a brilliant Leverkusen player, and you'll go and sign for Bayern Munich. It would be like being a brilliant Arsenal player and signing for Liverpool. It happens in that league, and it could happen. But I think in the Premier League, it'd be a very, very interesting player to bring in and a very exciting player as well. Let us know your thoughts on that. Where do you think he's going to go? I think in relation to Manchester City, by the way, we have said this. It's really hard to talk about Manchester City and understand what Manchester City are. I mean, I think Arsenal get the striker, could be a title contender next season, certainly. Liverpool probably going to add to a title-winning team. Chelsea could get a couple of players in and improve, Newcastle, etc. With Man City, it's very difficult, isn't it? Like, we don't know what to think about Man City. And if I was a Man City fan, I'd be very irritated because you can't ever bridge that gap of being interesting without people really understanding. And we don't really understand what's going on with Manchester City. There is a court case. Nobody knows what's going to go on with it. Nobody knows when we're going to get it announced. And nobody knows what the punishment or not will be. If there's no punishment, Man City will spend a load of money. If there is a punishment, and does it impact their transfer window? I mean, if they... Clearly not. They bought players in January. They could buy players now. But it's just a strange situation. And I feel like there's a big story, but we don't know when we're going to get it. Talking about big story, there have also Manchester City been linked to Rodrigo. This is coming in from AS in Spain. They're saying that Premier League clubs, including Manchester City and Arsenal, are circling around Real Madrid forward Rodrigo amid reports of him falling out with the club. Look, I joked the other day that he'd be a bad fit for Manchester City because look at what Pep does to people like Grealish and Doku and Savio. But that won't stop them probably trying to sign him. I think Arsenal would be a better fit, and I think Arsenal need that sort of competition for places as well. The bench, when you look at Arsenal against PSG, I think PSG's bench was far better than Arsenal, and Arsenal do need to build that out as well if they want to be competing on all fronts, because look at this season. Odegaard missed half a season nearly. Saka missed a large portion of the season. You need to have a depth in that Arsenal side. So look, Rodrigo leaving and coming to the Premier League, again, it's not going to be great watching him play for people like Arsenal or Man City, but it would be a welcome addition to the Premier League as a spectacle. Be interesting to keep an eye on that one. Another player as well, which might pique up the ears of Chelsea fans, maybe Liverpool, maybe Arsenal. Xavi Simons, who actually I don't think we'll end up with Wirtz and Simons in the Premier League. Now, Fabrizio Romano reported this morning that Simons has basically said he wants to leave and the Premier League is a really attractive proposition. He'd like to go to Barcelona, but that's not going to happen this summer. Barcelona aren't in a position to do that, so the Premier League is the next best place to go. And where will he go in the Premier League? He has been linked to United before, but we don't have that type of money, and I don't think we could be looking at him. So, again, look, I think he'll go to Bayern Munich if they miss out on Wirtz, but if they do get Wirtz, then I think Simons will come to the Premier League. And is that a player that you'd take as a Liverpool fan? Is it a player that you'd take as an Arsenal fan? Chelsea, should you be looking at those types of attacking midfielders again? So he could well be en route to the Premier League as well. But one player who looks like he's leaving the Premier League, and we have been reporting about this for the last couple of days, is Dean Hson of Bournemouth, who is Spanish, not Danish and not Dutch. Reports are that he has agreed terms with Real Madrid. I think it was Ben Jacobs who reported this. It is his dream move, so it looks like Real Madrid have got that deal done. It's interesting with Real Madrid, isn't it? Because I don't know if anybody can answer this question or not, but we know that, like Amorim, Alonso has this style of play. Do you think, or has he said, he's going to stick with that style of play at Real Madrid? 3-4-3, in which case he will need centre-backs. And Hson would be a very, very, very good signing. Obviously plays for Spain as well, so looks like he's heading there, and the Alonso era begins. But what that means, I think, interestingly, is that Arsenal and Liverpool were both looking at him. Where will they deviate now to look at centre-backs? Guehi is apparently back on the Newcastle radar and Chelsea, but would he be a player that maybe Arsenal or Liverpool would take a look at? So keep an eye on centre-backs, because obviously Hson was an option for Liverpool and Arsenal. They were looking at that, but with him going to Real Madrid, where will they pivot to next? So lots there, and look, get your comments in as always, but I've said this a few times now, I think we're in for a really interesting summer transfer window that's going to move a lot quicker. Maybe it is the Club World Cup, maybe it's the absence of a World Cup or a Euros, maybe it's just the sheer volume of clubs that need to do stuff. I think the Premier League has been a really interesting Premier League, but obviously the title race has been over for a long time. The top 5 race is going to go to the wire. And I think when you look at next season, there's probably a clutch of about 6, 7, 8 teams that are thinking we want to be in that top 4. And the competition amongst Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, Newcastle, maybe an Aston Villa. Look, I do discount Manchester United and Tottenham, but they will want to get back in amongst it. I think there's going to be a lot of competition for transfers, and I think because people are doing stuff early, that's going to force everyone else into being early, isn't it? It's like a party that everyone wants to be at, and somebody gets there really early, so everyone else goes, well, I'm getting there early. And I think that normally the transfer window can be, we're going to that party, but we want to be fashionably late, and then everyone's trying to be late. And I think this transfer window is going to be the opposite. I think everyone's going to be like, we want to be in there quick, we want to get these players, because there's not a massive abundance of players, and I think there's a lot of competition for them. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting. But Frimpong to Liverpool is basically done. Wirtz is now the next one. Can Liverpool do that? And you've got, obviously, Rodrigo. Hson's going to Real Madrid. What centre-backs do you think Liverpool and Arsenal will look at now? Xabi Simons, would you take him? Get your comments in. Let me know. I'll speak to you on the next one. And make sure you subscribe.